The journey is the destination is something I somehow come across almost all the time, right? There's always some place or somewhere where I read this, and I honestly, before recent times, didn't even realize the actual truth to it. All right, so the reason I didn't is because there is purely absolute, in my genuine belief, no way that you fail unless you give up. And if you agree to that as well, right, there could be so many different ways, but there is absolutely no way that you actually fail in terms of where you want to get to as long as you don't give up. If you keep reiterating and you keep learning, you will end up learning a lot more and actually getting to where you want to get to. Now, if that's the case and you agree with me on that, well, the other side of it is that you will get to your destination point, which then means that the happiness doesn't lie on the actual destination point, right? You find the happiness or you find to enjoy the journey while building, right? And this actually goes to everything, but I'll tell you exactly what I mean in my specific journey, right? So right now, we're averaging about 25K, 28K a month, and is usually what we do between there. Now, if I go ahead and think back to the time I was doing 2K a month, 3K a month, I used to cold call all the time, and I would cold call myself all the way up to getting my first two clients, then vividly remember that I got my first cold callers, my first reps on the team, and I had people actually working with me rather than me alone, right? So it was this superpower, and yes, be it they weren't the best callers at all, but I mean they were doing something, and it was genuinely a fun time. Now after that, I kind of kept going and stopped everything, then stayed stagnant for a month or so, kind of recouped myself. Kind of recouped myself, and then it took a little bit of time, but I got back to it. And when I think back at it, it was like it's crazy, but I never actually thought about it like this. But whenever I put myself a revenue goal, I've never actually hit it and then gotten happy. I've actually just kind of thought through the process of what I was doing and the fact that I enjoyed those moments, right? Because I mean, if you think about it like this, right? Ask yourself, what's your goal in life, right? Where would you want to get to? Okay, cool. So you want to retire your parents. You want to get a Lamborghini. You want to get a Ferrari. You want to get an SVJ. You want to be able to travel whenever you want. You want to be able to live in a nice place. You want to be able to help people, whatever it may be, right? Whatever your goals are and where you want to get to, right? Where you determine as a successful life, right? Say you got there today. You got there today and like you woke up tomorrow and you had everything. You had the money, you opened up your phone and you checked your account, your crypto account, your balance, and you had $2 billion in there. You had whatever car you wanted and you can get whatever you wanted. There would only be a certain amount of time between you actually getting bored and not knowing what you're going to be able to do with the money and the actual ending point of what you determine as success. Because you need to remember that money is just an amplifier. At the end of the day, if you are a douche and you just waste your time with more money, you're just going to end up wasting more time in different ways, right? If you are a person that ends up paying for shit and wasting money on stuff that you shouldn't buy, I mean, you're just going to end up wasting money on you shouldn't buy on stuff that is a lot more expensive than what you waste money on right now. In the same way, if you're a G right now and you hold yourself straight to your standards and you actually do what you're supposed to do, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing the same thing when you actually have money, right? You're just gonna get better, right? You're just gonna help more people if you're a helpful person, right? So at the end of the day, money just amplifies who you are. So you wouldn't naturally change to a different person. And this is why this journey is so important because throughout the journey, you actually become the person that you want to be. Right? You become the man or the woman, for that sake, of who you want to become. And which is why it's so important to put emphasis on the actual journey and enjoy every step of the day, right? Enjoy every step of the way I meant, and enjoy every day because you're going to look back at a certain point when you're in your car, when you have your house, when you have your wife and kids, you're going to look back and think, damn, those times when I was in my room working my ass off every single day, the times when I was stressed about what was going to happen, and then it ended up just being fine. At the time where I was stressed about what that client would say, what would happen here, but it ended up working out. Like it doesn't matter what it is, it just somehow, some way ends up working out. And if that's the case, right? If that's the case, if the case is that it ends up working out and everything is fine, well, I guess, was it not worth it at the end of the day, right? Was it not worth it to go through everything, right? A lot of us, we put external pressure on ourselves, and we start thinking that happiness is going to come from numbers. Yes, I mean, in some sort of way, money does give you happiness. I'm always going to be an advocate for it, because not with the materialistic things that you can buy, but the stuff that money can buy that you can't without money, and the fact that the freedom you can have in your mind when you have money. Because if you think about it like this, when you don't have money, the only thing you're thinking about is money, right? Because money is going to be able to solve whatever problem that you have in front of you, right? And when you have money, obviously that problems become to other things. But point is, you're never going to have a money problem, and it's always best to have not a money problem, because it's the only thing that you can pretty much promise. Not to mention that health is also. But before I go on a sidetrack, journey is the most important thing, and the journey you put yourself on is what's going to determine who you become and what you become. Not the amount of money you make. The money's still going to be there, right? I'm 20 years old. I'm about to be 21 in under a couple months. Yes, there are people out there making 100 grand a month, right? There are people out there making 1 million a month my age. But then there's also people out there that don't have shit to eat, right? There's people out there that have a computer, have a laptop, and they're starting their journey at 25. There are people out there 16 with a dream but can never achieve it. Like there's so many different factors to everything, and everybody's on such a different like journey, where like comparing yourself to anybody else doesn't make sense. Like you are on your journey, even if it takes you 10 years. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Would you rather have your dream life in 10 years, or would you rather slave away for somebody else's dream for 60 years, right? Until you retire. Like what's like the trade-off is just too insane. Like obviously you'd want to have your own life even if it takes you 10 years, right? It's just as us as entrepreneurs, we don't value that, right? We don't value the fact that that's going to happen. We want everything quick, which I have to myself learn. I have to relearn that to myself as well every single day, right? That I have to accept the fact that things can happen quick. Right? And I need to get a lot better at this myself. If anybody's out there and you keep thinking, constantly thinking that as soon as I hit 10K, as soon as I hit 15K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, 100K, that finally I'm going to have things figured out, and finally I'm gonna actually be happy. There's no amount of money or revenue that's gonna make you happy. It's purely just learn to enjoy what you're doing and learn to love it. Learn to actually like waking up and actually improving, right? If you can find happiness in improving yourself, right? Going to the gym, looking at yourself, knowing that you're getting better, getting stronger, right? Eating well, seeing your family happy, seeing that you can help them out slowly but surely. If you can find happiness in those things, like there's no way in your life that you're never not going to be able to be happy, and you're going to live an abundant life. But if you always try to seek happiness, and try to give yourself rewards, or always look out for the next milestone, I mean, there's always going to be a new milestone. You know, us as humans, as entrepreneurs, as men, like we always want to hunt for something new, right? There's always going to be a new point, right? Everybody wants to hit that first 10K a month. As soon as you hit it, well, what's the next 20K, right? 30K, right? Even right now, I'm hovering around that 28, 27K mark. I want to get to 50K. And after that, I want to get to 100K. Like it's just going to keep happening, right? We can't live in that the constant life circle of just wanting to just get to that next level for the sake of getting there. We actually have to understand why we're on that journey, and seek happiness into the actual build of the journey. Actually enjoy it, man. And so hopefully this helps somebody out there that is struggling or thinking about that a lot. It definitely is a reminder for myself, and will be for the longest time. And I definitely need to work on this myself. You guys enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you guys watching, and leave a like if this did help out. Again, if there's any questions or anything you need from me, feel free to shoot me a text on Insta, and I will reply. Thank you. Peace out.